Chevelle Simone is in the house. I'm on the throne of the microphone here on today, here at IntellectualRadio.com, where you can reach us at 708-223-8953. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We going strong all day long here on IntellectualRadio.com. I am so glad and so grateful to be here on today on this marvelous Miracle Monday, where it's always a fun day. Let me tell you something. Mondays don't have to always be a drag. You don't have to always feel, oh, it's Monday. Yeah. No, Monday can be a fun day, especially if you done did your little shouting on a Sunday. Do you shout?
I don't shout. I don't shout.
You don't do the holy dance?
No, ma'am.
You don't do the shout? No.
I know.
Let me see. You don't do none of that?
I got.
Okay, good. You do the tap then.
I do.
She do the tap. Okay, good. You know, some of us don't want to mess up our rap. It's okay. It's okay. Some of us clap, some of us tap, some of us dance. I do it all. I even scream. I have a good time. So I'm all set for the week and for my Monday. But guess what? On today, you're going to absolutely love this show. This show is knowledgeable for you, especially if you're African American, handling your business or not. You today about handling your business, getting yourself together, getting yourself together, and getting yourself knowledgeable about your next. Today, I had to beg my friend. I had to plead with my friend. I had to go all in with my friend and say, Tawana, I want you to come on my show and talk about the funeral business. She has her own funeral home. And if you have been listening to me since March, you've been hearing me talk about my great sponsor, Sacred Memories Funeral Home. And I always talk about how my friend Tawana Collins take care of your loved ones, or even you, in a special way. There's no question she won't ask, and if it's something that she don't know, but anyway, she know it all. She don't mind helping. And what's the location of your funeral home?
2024 East 75th Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60649.
And how can they reach you?
773-667-8600.
Okay, I got to get her warmed up to talk, y'all. I got to get her warmed up. I got to get this train rolling. Okay? So, listen. I know we're live today, and all my shows are live. So, if you see her do like this, that means she got to go pick up a body. Let me tell you something. People die every 5 minutes, okay? So, I need y'all to pray in the Holy Ghost that don't nobody die in the next 30 minutes. Because I'm telling you, y'all going to see the hell go. And that means body snatcher, okay? She's a straight up body snatcher. You understand? I'm not playing Earl. She picks up the bodies, baby. Listen, how many years have you been in this business?
24 years.
24 years. What do you say? Oh, okay. Earl said, what make you decide to want to do this?
I've been wanting to do this since I was 12 years old.
Get out.
Yes.
So you like scary movies?
I do. So 12 years old, father passed. Wanted to be a marine biologist or a mortician. I couldn't swim, so I decided to stay on land. And I've been wanting to do this since I was 12. My mother thought I was crazy. I used to go to funerals, sign register books, get cards in the mail. She'd be like, sign another book. I'm going to beat you. And I kept signing them.
You kept sneaking into the funeral.
Yes, went to high school, couldn't find a job. So my high school teacher, Miss Johnson, took me over to Gatlin, was like, look, can you show this girl the funeral home? Because she will not get a job. So after high school, went away to college, went to Rainers, worked there for a few years. And yeah, I've been doing this for 24 years.
Who mentored you in this?
Mr. Childs over at AA Rainer.
Wow.
Yes.
So were you the person that when the body is there, you know, before you get like looking hard, like, what is this? How they do this and stuff like that? Because there are people that stand at the casket a long time trying to figure it out.
I didn't really stand there. I was more curious, looking. I liked the comfort that they provided to my family during the service. So that made it more personal for me. So just the comfort of the families. So comforting the families.
So that's your why.
That's my why.
You love the comfort. I love that. How many families do you see in a week?
Well, it just depends. So the volume that the funeral home does right now, we're between 200 and 250. So new funeral home, been open for 5 years. So we're new to the south side of Chicago.
200 to 250 families a week.
No, a year.
A year.
That's a year.
A year.
A year.
I was about to say.
No.
Like,
no.
Well, we clocking in. Like,
no, ma'am.
Okay.
Eventually, but not right now.
Lord, do it. I'm not saying kill people, but I'm just saying,
Yes,
Lord.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. So this has become comfortable every day and things like that. And I know you have children.
I do have children.
So people don't know that most funeral directors, Earl, they live in the funeral home.
Some of them do.
Some of them do. Up right above the funeral home, there's a whole house.
It's a living quarters upstairs. Some live there, some do not. Some choose not. So it's just up to the individual.
And you live in the living quarters because there's something always going on. It's a 24-hour day.
It's a 24-hour establishment. So living there, it's beneficial at times, and then sometimes it's not, because you can't have a personal life outside living there, because it's always families calling, coming by, all hours of the night. So just...
And if you're single, the boo can't come over because he don't like dead bodies. I'm sleeping upstairs in the bed, dead body downstairs. Like, what's going on? What's that music?
I don't know about you that one.
All doing the cuddling. All doing the cuddling on the couch. And you hear the...
Like, who's singing? Who's singing down there?
Singing with the heavenly choir. So it's a lot that goes into this, and we're not trying to make mock of it, but I want to talk about this because a lot of African Americans do not have insurance, and funerals can be expensive. Like, what's the cheapest rate for a funeral right now?
Well, the basic service is generally starting around $6,500, and that's not including the cemetery, the programs, the flowers, and different things that you need. So a lot of people do not have insurance. They're using GoFundMe, pay for this, offset this, or they just go into the community like, hey, can you help me? So insurance is very important.
And it has to be paid for.
It has to be paid for.
This is not a payment plan.
This is not a payment plan.
Right. This ain't you can't do an after pay. This ain't Klarna. This ain't any of that. The every 2 week thing. Yeah. No, you're going to need all your paper up front before we provide you.
72 hours before the service. The service has to be paid for. And a lot of families they don't have it. So a lot of people are going towards cremation because it's easier. It's more affordable to some than burial. So,
but I've seen like the strangest cremations, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because you still have to embalm the body.
Not if they want to have a service, then cremation instead of burial afterwards to eliminate the cemetery fee.
That's still a cost.
It's still a cost. So you're still having a traditional funeral, but instead of having a burial, you're doing cremation. So that eliminates a $4,000 extra that you have to come out of, and you just pay the additional probably $500 for the crematory fee. So It's a big difference.
So those of you who have not had loved ones to die or had to go through this process, if I were you, I would talk to someone that's in the funeral service to find out, what's the cost, what you can do, how you can do it, because one day you're going to have to sit in those seats, and we need insurance. All of our insurance is in our hair. Yeah, it's here. On our back, on our lashes. And we don't think that one day we're going to have to pass through and you're going to leave your loved one there to pay for this. These loved ones right now, Tawana, they want to spread. They're giving these people a nice big spread. Some of these people don't have jobs, didn't have jobs, never had jobs, so they don't get Social Security, 401k, all this other stuff. And you're giving them a golden spread. Mm-hmm. This golden life in death that they didn't have in life. So why do you think we as African Americans put all the money in the ground? Even if we do have an insurance policy, if it's $50,000, all of it going to the ground, we're not thinking that we have to live and their children have to live and things like that. Why are we so emotionally drawn into having this whole show?
Well, I don't believe they don't spend the whole policy. they were probably spending probably about a good $10,000. The families that come to Sacred Memories, we let them know you have to think afterwards. You don't want to exhaust your whole policy on a service. You have to live afterwards. So yes, it's children involved. You have to take care of the children. Somebody needs to take care of the children. Somebody needs to help somewhere. So we try to help the families to think about after the service and not to just spend the whole policy. Some want to, and we still try to help them with the basic stuff they need. You know, you don't need 400 obituaries. Is 400 people coming? Did you know? Who you doing this for? You doing it for you or them?
Right.
So you just have to just talk to the people.
And that's what I want to talk about. That's the nut of what I want to talk to about, that this emotional spending. And I'm glad you talked about, because you only could talk about Sacred Memories. You can't talk about the other ones, but there's a lot of emotional spending because we're grieving that goes into this. And I was talking to my sister in the car, and I was telling her, I said, I just feel like when people die, that yes, it's okay for the funeral home to pick up the body. It's okay, but you don't have to run right away to the funeral home and start doing all of this stuff. You haven't processed anything. You haven't thought anything out. You just run out there and do it, and then the whole family fighting and arguing.
Yes, you find out the true colors of an individual once someone passed. Because now we all have to come together and figure out, okay, so they don't have insurance. Who paying for this? So now you get 5-10 people in office. Everybody's picking out something. Now the bill is here. Now who's paying for this bill? Oh, okay. Well, we need to start a process of elimination. We need to take this off. We need to take this off. What's important? What's not important?
Now, see, I didn't think about it like that. So everybody wants something.
Everybody wants something.
Everybody putting something together, and you gotta put this contract together. But when it's time for that paper on the paper, we have to eliminate when it comes to that. How hard is this process as a funeral home director?
It's draining sometimes. It's very draining. They use you as a punching bag because they have anger and they have to send it somewhere. So I'm going to hit you with something and you with something. So we can't take it personal because we know it's not directed towards us. It's that what the person is going through at this time. So like you said, yes, you shouldn't just run in and make arrangement. Let it settle. Let it sit with you for a while. Mama, dad on Tuesday, give me to Thursday to think about some things. So some families, they call Friday. Well, can we come in tomorrow? No, I'll see you Monday. So let's make an appointment for Monday at 10 a.m. So they give you time to sit home and get in your thoughts and get with your family, and you all could sit down and have a conversation together and figure out which direction you all want to go instead of coming in and nobody knows where they want to go. They just sitting here and we go figure it out once we get there.
So how does pre-planning work? I've heard about the pre-planning of funerals and things of that sort, like before, how I want to say it, before we die, we put a plan in place. I think that's kind of like better. Is that something like a will or?
Pre-planning, it works because whatever I choose, you can't change. So it's in writing. So yes, pretty much. So like I tell my kids always what I want at my funeral. I want this, I want that, I want this. I want Kenny G to play at my funeral, Songbird, and da-da-da. You can afford it, get him. She's like, Mama, Kenny G, you might want to do a mock funeral now because he might be gone by the time you pass.
Well, so, Mama, can't we just play his song? But he got to show up.
Yeah. I said, I want him there. You know, she was like, you don't know this man. I said, but I love the song he can play. Right. So just letting them know in advance what you want. And a lot of families don't want to sit down and talk about it. What cemetery do you want to go to? I asked my mother this. What cemetery do you want to be buried at? She was like, I don't know. I said, why not? She was like, why are you asking me that? I said, because. She said, where you want to go? I said, well, my father's at Restville. I want to go to the mausoleum. Where do you want to go? Ask my uncle, where do you want to go? It's a conversation. We don't want to have that conversation as African-American people. It's not important right now. So when somebody passed, guess what? Where do they want to be buried? they want happen to their body. Nobody knows.
So how do we lead into these kind of conversations? We need to start talking about death. So much is going on. How do your loved ones know, what you really want? What do you want to do? Like I told my kids, don't y'all bury me and I ain't got no blonde hair. And I also said, put all the embalming fluid right here.
So lift them.
Because I'm not getting, I ain't getting them like, I want them a little bit bigger. And I'm not having no more surgery. I'm telling you right now, Twana, you better make sure they there. You better make sure.
I cannot with you. I cannot.
Well, all embalming fluid right there. I want that. I want a nice little princess dress. I want the little glitter on my chest. I want to.
But it's going to be covered. Because you're going to need to bring a scarf. Anything low cut. You need to bring a scarf. Cover it up, okay?
Why?
All right.
Because the way y'all cut us.
No, we're not going to cut you. I'm just saying.
You going to cut me, girl?
No, ma'am. But we need to start
Where
talking
y'all
about...
put embalming fluid at? In the butt?
Back to the program.
It is. This is the program.
No, ma'am.
Do you got to cut me? It's a good question.
It is a good question, but it's not through the butt.
Okay.
So we inject femoral, jugular, different places, but it's not through the butt. No.
Okay, I didn't know that.
No, ma'am.
All right. You gotta know. So that's why you need the scarf or something.
Yes, yeah. And then it just depends too if you had
no,
autopsy.
You ain't keeping it holy in the casket, Shalise. She's talking about you got to keep it holy. No, I want to know what was the use for the scarf. Hey, it's a good.
So if you have an autopsy also, it's just the way they make the incision and everything, and just make sure everything is looking professional, you're looking dignified and everything. So
okay. Mm-hmm. All right, then, DeAndre, we would change my dress. All right. Okay. So we need to know that because I didn't know. I'm like, well, what do? You put it under the do you inject under the arm? I don't know. I'm thinking it's a machine to go
no, ma'am.
Like a helium. I don't know. Yes. This is like all different. So we need to start having these conversations about, dying. We all gotta die.
We all want to live. Nobody's planning to die. No one ever talk about, okay, when I die. I guess I'm different because, I'm in the business. I've always discussed my best friend to be like, look, I don't want to hear that. Stop talking to me about it. But it's a conversation that we need. And I want other people to know. So if my children is not here and something happens, somebody knows what my plans are.
Now, one of my big plans is, Tawana, and all my friends know, I'm not big on flowers. Don't be having all these flowers.
Give me my flowers now.
Would y'all start sending me flowers?
Give me my flowers now.
Right. Because I'm not, don't do that. I don't need all that. You want
and then it's a waste. Because at the end, you got 20 pieces of flowers. You spending $150, $200 a flower, and they leave them at the cemetery. They drop them in the garbage. Give them their flowers now.
Yeah.
Love on me now.
If you're going to spend $80 on some flowers, put it in the cart and give it to my kids. I mean, that's just how, and I was feeling like that when they was younger. I'm like, they can go to, have scholarships. I would love to do something if I was to die, was to everybody just give money and we can have some kind of scholarship fund.
A Chevelle scholarship
fund. A Chevelle Simone. Oh, I like it. A Chevelle Simone scholarship fund for new radio talk show hosts.
Yay.
We can do it for Kennedy King College or a college out here or something like that. Mm-hmm. Or maybe, the studio here at IntellectualRadio.com. Maybe they have an internship to help people, interns that need to come here. We can have funds available and, because I'm going syndicated.
Okay.
And they going with me.
Come on now. You're speaking into existence, Queen.
Oh, baby, I'm going to be on Good Morning America. Still talking about, I'm with IntellectualRadio.com.
Come on now.
You know what you should. No. You ain't up with 106.3? No, I'm with IntellectualRadio.com.
And Sacred Memories is still your sponsor.
Yes, it is.
Right there.
Did you hear that?
She gonna be right there with you.
Y'all already know who gonna bury me, so I guess I need to write out what I want.
Make it plain.
So we really need to scale this. This is very, very important. We want to have conversations about other things, but we need to start having this conversation because people are just, if you watch the news, you're going to see so many people just leaving and dying and going, and we're just issuing money. We on everybody GoFundMe. We cash apping everybody, trying to get everybody so they can have a nice homegoing. Yeah. Let's call it homegoing because I was going to say something else because everybody ain't going home. Everybody ain't singing with the heavenly choir.
Well.
Okay, well, it is going to be a home going because you're going whoever you served here. You're going home with him, okay? Okay. And not with the true and the living God. Now cut me off for that. I don't mind that because I'm gonna tell you the truth. Whatever you think your home is right here on this earth, whoever you serving, that's where you going. So everything ain't a home going, and all this stuff y'all putting in these obituaries, these lies. Okay.
Yeah. Some stuff don't need to be.
And don't put my two husbands in my obituary. That's all I'm saying.
Some things don't need to. If you know my life, you don't need to read about it.
You don't need to read about it. So you could just really do me.
A little prayer card and call it a year.
But you know what? You can save some money by doing the video. The video tribute, and hand out little small cards.
Of course.
You know, with my picture and my name and
the poem.
That's it. It's you know, we don't have to go all out. Hey nephew, I got Miracle on the line. My nephew is on the line. Hey sugar wooger, you better not die. So listen. So what do you do when a family have like no money? And I could have answered that earlier. My God, no money and no insurance. And are you ever shocked by this? You know, like some of these people, you know, our friends, like some of these people we know, some of these people we've seen, and you'll be very, very shocked. Very, very shocked to see who don't have any insurance.
Yeah, it's shocking.
So what do?
They collect money. They do a GoFundMe, or they see if the state have some money. So public aid.
Can the state help everybody though?
The state does not. It depends on certain things. So some people be like, oh, he had a link card, doesn't qualify because he has a link card that the state would give you I think it's $1,103 they provide, $1,100, and they expect a traditional funeral with $1,103 and.
Yeah. I thought you could go through the state and Social Security.
Social Security only gives $255 to a minor child or a spouse. So it's not for everyone. Everyone does not get that. They get $255 to the minor child.
So we're counting. Spouse. If you get the both of those, you're not going to get a whole $1,500.
No.
So you still got a $9,000 bill.
And so veterans, they get a free burial. They think a veteran, oh, the veteran's going to pay for the funeral. No, they give you a free grave and a headstone. You still have to pay the funeral home. You still have to pay that.
So a baby funeral, does it cost the same as an adult funeral?
Well, a child's casket is more than an adult casket.
Why?
It's smaller. So, yeah, it's a lot more expensive.
I thought the bigger, like, because some people are longer.
Yes,
or heavier.
Heavier. So the larger ones, those that need because they weigh more. It costs more for a larger casket. A lot. Sometimes it takes 2 graves for a larger casket. Just depends on what size. So anything over 30, you need a grave and a half. So they're going to actually charge you for 2 graves now.
Wow. So they don't charge you for a grave and a half. It's going to be either a grave or 2.
Exactly.
Wow. That's something. I really need my viewers to kind of like think about this. You know, how is your mental space as a funeral director? I know you're seeing funerals all the time. You're dealing with families all the time. You're comforting all the time. Then you live in the space all the time. And how is your mental space? How do you keep yourself going?
Well, actually, I'm just you learn how to deal with your emotions. Been doing this for so long. So if I cried at every service, dealing with every death, I'll be bat crazy. So I just learned to place it somewhere else. I travel, music, I read a lot, and I love on my friends, and they love on me.
Because you know you love you. So
of course.
Let me tell y'all what she did. So my older sister was coming over to the house to bring me some ham.
Right, she still never made it.
She never made it.
I'm just saying, you never made it. You didn't make it. You didn't.
So I'm on the phone talking to Tawanda.
She did.
She's like, what you mean you ain't? I said, I ain't got no ham. She's like, I'm on my way. She didn't came, y'all, between funeral services.
In between arrangements, I did.
In between arrangements. And when she was on her way, she like, look, little sister, I'm going to need you to be outside because another family came in. I'm like, your stuff revolving doors like that? You doing the thing like that? And it was so funny because I wanted to put on Facebook, the body snatcher just don't drop off bodies. She can cook. I mean, she the body snatcher. Let me
I
tell you,
did
she
drop off ham. I dropped off turkey.
Look, she done killed
a
pig.
dressing. You understand? Macaroni and cheese,
and let me tell you
green
what she
beans.
did. Let me tell you what she did. She had the real string beans and white potatoes, like your grandma used to make with the neck bones. You understand what I'm saying? She made a homemade cake.
Cake. I took her.
I said, how you do that and you got 15 funnels? Then after I ate, I said, oh my God, the dead spirits was in our house.
I know they was not. I know, ma'am. But she said she was hungry. I made sure she was fed.
She was like, I'm on my way. Give me a minute. She pulled up. Y'all, she's so funny, y'all. Don't let the funeral home fool you. Now, she done pulled up in front of the house, and I'm on the phone with her. She done rolled down her window on somebody. What you doing out here in the streets? You don't need to be out here on 75th. You need to come on. You need to go inside, or you want to come inside of here? I'm looking like, you going to invite somebody in the funeral home to get warm. Yeah.
Hey, it's a woman center too.
So she cares about her community. And one of the churches, Earl, what I really love about her is one of the churches don't have a parking area, or they need more parking. So on Sundays, whether she got a funeral service or not, she allows this church to use her parking lot. And I think it's a wonderful thing. She does things in the community. There's nothing you ain't gonna need. Like, if this is your friend, you ain't gonna need nothing. Like, I ate my food. She checked them. Are you good now? Because if not, I'm on my way. What do you need? I'm like, no, I had to promise her I was good. It's like we going back and forth on the phone. I'm like, I'm so glad she got another phone call to get her off the phone. Like, I am good. What you wanna test my stomach? I'm good. I ate it. It was good. But I was surprised at the cake, y'all. I said she done cooked from scratch. I didn't know she would have the time for that. She was like, girl, you could have came over with me. I was like, no, I had to work. So it's nothing that Tawana Collins will not do for you. And the way she treat you as a friend and a sister alive, I know at your loved one's death or service that she's treating your body with care, their body with care. And guys, guess what? I had a tour of the funeral home. Listen, I should have woke the dead, okay?
She did not.
Now, she has the old Slaughter's funeral home. So I'm the friend, the overbearing friend. I want to do something. I want to help. So she doing all this remodeling, doing everything new and all this stuff. You got to call me because I want to help. So I was a chaplain at the time. So I go and help. I was like, oh no, I want to talk about helping like this. She got a whole room with bodies. Like, what was that? Oh, come here. Let me show you this. This is what we do. What is it called again? The excavating. What are you doing from here?
I didn't take her back that way. That's private. But she went to the casket room, my office, the chapels. She even worked the front desk a few times.
With the water.
What water?
It was a big sink.
Oh, the morgue back that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's private. That's off limits to the
I said, oh, Tawana, I'm lost. She's like, just back
Yeah, she was opening back door to let flowers in or something. Yeah,
she's like, Chevelle, just start. Don't turn around. Just back up. I just started backing up. I was like, it's a big sink. And she like back up.
Empty room at the time, but yeah.
Wasn't nothing back there I seen.
Yeah.
It was just like, I'm lost.
She's like, what goes on in that room?
That's a room. She was like, oh no, close.
Yeah, so that room is off limits to the public.
Like, oh Lord,
need a combination to get in that room,
right? Yeah, she's like, don't go that way. I said go that way. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm nosy. Okay, then. But it's nice. It's remodeled. It has a beautiful feel in the spirit. Even the sanctuary, it is just awesome. It's awesome. It's COVID safe, and I mean, you have done a lot to make this space home. For a family filled with love.
Filled with love.
So how do you feel now? Are you going to retire?
No time soon.
How many years you going to do before you retire?
I have plenty more to go. I have probably about a lot more to go. I'm a young one.
So what are the children? Your children interested in this?
My daughter, she went to mortuary school. She graduated, Tiana. My youngest daughter, Talia, is about to go to mortuary school in September. She called me a couple of nights ago and said, Mom, I'm going to just go ahead and do it. I'm like, oh, do what? She's like, I'm going to go to school. I'm like, okay. Come on through, young lady.
Okay.
Yeah, so my grandson, he's curious. He walks around, he looks. Now I got to get my granddaughter into it. She's 2, so she's not curious yet.
Right.
She don't know what goes on yet.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's gonna be a family thing.
It looks, I mean, it looks promising, and I believe it's a gift.
Yeah.
I don't believe people should get into this kind of business for money. I really believe it's a gift. And you have to have like a heart. You have to have a heart for people. You never know, your enemy can walk in the door, and just
still got the service
gotta
and treat them with love.
Gotta treat them with love.
Compassion.
So how many funeral homes did you work for before you got your own?
Well, probably like 4.
Okay. And what made you decide that this is my step? I want my own.
Well, I got fired from my last job.
Okay.
Thanks. Because if it was not for you, I'd still be there. Thank you. That was nothing but God. He knew I can do it. I would not leave. So in order for me to leave, I had to get fired. So I got fired June of 2010. That was the last day I worked. Thank you very much.
Praise him.
I praise him every day. And I just went out on my own, and I worried for a little while. Then I had to realize, people kept telling me, don't worry, you okay. God got you. And so every step of the way, God has carried me. He has opened doors that I thought that would never open. I've been doing excellent. I have not worked for anyone since June 10th. Thank you, 2010. Thank you. I've been open here 5 years. I had put a contract on a building. Well, I bought a building cash I was going to do for a funeral home. And my loan officer came with me. She found a contractor, white man. So he walked in, we had the plans. And he said, the next day, he called her back and said, tell her to leave. This is not for her. So just being obedient to God and to his word, I left. So I was going to be on 59th Street right off Western. No traffic in Hispanic neighborhood. I left. Found another place. He would not give me an extension. Then Miss Ackland called me from Ackland Funeral Home and said, oh, Slaughter lost the building. I said, really? She said, yeah. So I called this guy named Anthony Hardy. He called the person and said, I know someone that wants the building. And he said, just because of you, I'm going to let her have it.
Wow.
Being obedient to God.
Look how God works.
And he has been taking care of me ever since. So every time something went on, every time something happened, God has always provided enough and enough and enough. And Sacred Memories is here because of God.
Wow. And the Lord gave you a sacred memory.
Yes, he has.
That I am always going to be there for you.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Always.
Awesome. So what would you say to families? And first of all, we ask that God would bless and breathe and comfort and strengthen all of you that are going through a loss, that are grieving, that are suffering because you have lost a loved one or anyone in that case. Sacred Memories and myself here at Soulful Stimulation with Chevelle Simone and IntellectualRadio.com. We send our condolences to all of you, and we pray that the Lord will comfort and strengthen you and give you peace at this time. And if there's anything that we can do for you, please reach out to us. What would you like to say to families that have to go through this planning process, who have never been through it before?
Find a funeral home that is reputable, that is knowledgeable. It's a lot of services out here. There's just services. They never went to school. Some are out here just for the money. And it's not about the money. It's about making sure your loved one has a proper home going. It's about communicating your needs and their understanding, the location. It's just about the service. And if you can't get the proper service, or someone is not giving you what you're looking for, they price gouging. Because that's what a lot of people of services, they price gouge. They never been to school, and they just throwing numbers out, and they be like, oh, okay. So a service that you could have paid $7,000 for, A funeral service, okay, this is how they get their money. They don't have a job. They just run the services. They rent funeral homes, and I'm going to do it for, let's say $15,000. Huh? Make it make sense. So just make sure you just read your stuff with a fine tooth comb, and everything is legit.
And take your time.
Take your time. There's no rush. There is no rush, because only rush it is to get them out of the place, wherever they are, the medical examiner, the hospitals, especially the home. You want them to get out of that situation and into a funeral home and start being prepared. So the longer that they sit, you might have problems with preparing your loved one. So just get them out and just start, and be patient about running into the funeral home. You take a couple of days and just think.
Now, let me ask you this question. If I came to you and I started the process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I take that paperwork home and read over it before
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I make a final decision? And do you?
And then you could change. If you go home and you say, okay, well, I wanted these flowers and I wanted 500 obituaries, but now I know I only need 50 obituaries, or I don't want that casket. I want something a little bit less expensive. Give me a non-sealer, because I'm going to get a vault anyway. So I don't need a sealer casket. So I want to downgrade my casket. You could downgrade everything. Only thing that you're going to stay with is, if you're doing a service, you're going to do your professional service or the funeral director and staff, your embalming, your dressing, your casketing. Those are the transfer of the remains. If you have the service at the funeral home, those are things that you absolutely need. You can transfer, you can downgrade the casket, the obituaries, the flowers, the death certificate. Nobody needs 100 death certificates. For what? 5 death certificates is sufficient. Unless.
Okay, unless she get a phone call to go snatch a body, because that's what's going on right up in here. She got to go snatch a body right quick. So listen, I want to say to my viewers, please take your time so that you can bury your loved one with dignity. Here at Soulful Stimulation, we love you. We thank God for you. We appreciate you coming on again. Here at Sacred Memories, can you please give us your address again?
2024 East 75th Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60649. 773-667-8600.
Okay, let's have some fun with Chevelle Soulful Sevens. Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve.
Denzel or Idris Elba?
Idris.
Oh my, that's because he's a little young thing. Back in the day, baby, we wanted us some Denzel, honey. Honey, listen, back in the day.
In the day.
Now, Idris just showed up.
He did.
And he got the little sexy accent. I'm like,
right there.
I want to sing some Salt and Pepper to him. Ooh, baby, baby. Baby, ooh, baby, baby. Okay, house music or stepping?
Let's say house music.
City or suburbs?
Suburbs. Yeah, city too rough.
Okay. Comedy or thriller?
A little bit of both.
Really?
Yeah.
You like suspense too?
I do.
Yeah, that's because you're in that funeral home. So. That's that funeral home. Why do I have a friend, Lord? Let's do the funeral home thing.
Hey, somebody.
I raised from the dead and she burying the dead. I'm like, let him live, Tawana, let him live. No, I got this body already.
Until she called me for a 5 o'clock funeral on the beach.
Yes.
Okay.
She did a 5 a.m. funeral for me on the beach.
They wanted a sunrise service on the beach.
Yes.
And we did that.
And that was her. I'm telling y'all, she will accommodate you. And that was one of my funerals that I had to do. And a friend of mine lost her son. And I said, I don't want them to just throw this baby in the lake. I said, Tawana, help me. And these people lived out this way.
They lived, no. They didn't live. They lived in Rockford.
Yeah, they live in Rockford.
Yes, they lived in Rockford.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they came up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Came 5 o'clock in the morning.
Whole staff was there.
When I say the whole staff showed up, they brought flowers. We threw flowers out in the ocean. We did everything concerning that not the wedding, the funeral.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, the sun ain't even up yet. We was out there in the dark. So
until the sun came up. You better sing it.
She gonna come up with you with a commercial, girl. We gonna be singing a commercial for you. Coffee or tea?
Ooh, coffee. Decaf now. I'm older.
Oh, okay. So wait a minute, because you be up all night. You barely sleep. You know, you got to
It
sleep
ain't
with one
even
eye
about that.
open now.
Them hot
Okay?
flashes hit different with that coffee.
You ain't never lied. What kind of coffee you like? What do you have in your coffee?
Sugar-free, hazelnut, and French vanilla.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Now, I already know this answer, but I'm gonna let you answer. What stimulates you? Sacred memory.
That right there. That right there. Next.
We ain't gonna go into it because
Not right now. Not right now. Right now.
This is gonna be off the mic conversation. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you got some information. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to Tawana at
Sacred Memories Funeral Home, 773-667-8600.
Thank you so much for tuning in here on Soulful Stimulation with your girl, your host, Chevelle Simone, here on IntellectualRadio.com, where we're thebomb.com, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. See you next Monday. Lysandra Stevens is going to be here with us.